Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
All right. So what desiccated lump of ancient anime are we gonna rehydrate today?
Well, I don't know about anime, but we got schemes. Schemes and Sky to schemes.
Schemes and schemes and schemes.
Because we're going to be talking about HYPER PSYCHIC GEO GARAGA, a bunch of word salad that Japan thinks sounds cool.
I don't know. Geo, it's a planet. Garaga's a planet, so Geo and Garaga go together.
Sure.
And then Hyper Psychic, it's got Hyper Psychic.
I think it sounds more like a car to me. A really shitty 80s car.
I don't know. It works.
So anyway, this is an anime movie from 1989, directed by Hidemi Kubo, whose only other directing credit that I could find was a Hello Kitty movie.
Awesome.
He's done a lot of key animation work. He's done a lot of layouts. He also did the layouts and key animation for Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, yeah. That was cool.
It's a very strange thing.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Writer is the same, Hidemi Kubo. Studios we got here are Aubeck.
It kind of makes sense because this is a very Western feeling movie. You know, for an anime movie, I thought it had kind of like a Western feel to it.
But Studio Aubeck, they didn't do much. They did Capricorn.
Literally never heard of them.
And they did in-betweens on Kishin Core, Shar's Counterattack, and Do You Remember Love? But I mean, when you look up in-betweens on something, there's like 800 studios that do that.
Hey, yeah.
And then also Studio Asmic. They really had not much in the way of anime credits, but they were involved in all the Ring live-action movies.
I've at least heard of them.
So, interesting. And it's not really based on anything else. It's its own thing. So anyway, what we got here is the far-ish future. 2755 is when this takes place. And a couple hundred years earlier, mankind somehow figured out how to wrangle 3 black holes and put them together. And somehow that creates a hyperloop around the universe that gets you places quick.
Shut up, it's Fargate, goes far.
Yeah, I mean, sure. It was cool. It was at least a different idea. I appreciate that.
They really explain the shit out of it at the beginning, too.
Yes, they do. And we catch up with the cargo ship Zebek, who's going to be transporting cargo and a couple pods, one of them being General Yoon's daughter, whoever General Yoon might be, and you'll find that out later.
Does Zebek animate it?
No.
That's so weird.
And I could not find anywhere that the studio that does the animation Zebek has anything to do with the ship.
But they've like
the show.
They always put their logo in shows, so I was almost positive Zebek did it.
Maybe I missed it, but
that's wild. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah. Anyway, so ship's traveling to the warp gate, gets knocked off course, ends up crash landing on this planet, which we find out is Garaga. And they got to figure out what the heck to do. Luckily for them, it's not a completely abandoned planet. There's going to be an outpost there, and there's going to be a way to figure out how to get off there later. But
also convenient.
Yeah, very convenient. Exactly. That's where the schemes start, right? Like maybe they didn't crash land for no reason. Maybe they didn't.
Something
get
shot
course.
At their ship.
Something did shoot at their ship.
They never really explained that, but some shot at their ship.
There's a throwaway line about it. There's a lot of that going on where something happens and there's a throwaway line later that explains it, but it's so quick you'll miss it.
To explain this story, you would need it would have to be at least a 26 episode series.
I mean,
like
at least
to tie
13 to make some kind of sense.
Tie up all those insane plot lines.
So all of a sudden it becomes Planet of the Apes. There's these guys that look straight out of Planet of the Apes. Like the soldier apes from Planet of the Apes with the helmets and stuff.
Engineered super.
Yeah, apparently they're engineered super ape monsters that lived on this planet.
Well, no. They explain it later.
Yeah, they lived on the planet, but they
were just apes. And then they were
the evil android.
Yeah.
He did some genetic engineering. And some cyber augmentation. Made Space Marines
so surprised an android's evil.
Yeah, I know. It's very shocking. And you get introduced to some of the characters here. You got Jay, the main character, who's like a a mercenary guy.
Jay has the most legendary big dick energy. Any like main character ever.
Who turns out not being a mercenary guy. He's just working for someone higher up. It's all very convoluted. There's this whole government thing going on that you can't really tell. It's the military or the government. Someone's working for the director and someone's working for a
No, they're all on the ship, the Z-Bag.
You can't explain it.
And then like the captain's a super goofball. Like he's comic
But he doesn't
relief.
know anything that's going on.
Has no idea what's going on. And like literally the entire crew and all the passengers are like several special operations teams from
Pretty
like
much.
And they're all from like the same faction.
It's
except
very strange.
They don't know who each other are, and they're all working for like different parts of the faction. But Jay's like the highest up. He's working for like the, I don't know, fucking emperor or whoever.
He's the director.
Like,
they call him,
whatever.
Who knows? And then okay, so now you're here. You get this Planet of the Apes guys, and then you got giant monsters. You know,
dinosaurs, son.
Dinosaurs. You got psychic people with crazy psychic powers. It just does what it does.
You have attractive women with psychic powers.
Pretty much.
They wear crazy outfits and manifest dinosaurs out of thin air.
Yeah, that is exactly what happens.
Shit is fucking metal.
So anyway, I won't talk about it too much more because I could blather on forever about all the craziness that goes on in Garaga.
It's wild.
So what did you like about Hyper Psychic Geo Garaga?
If anybody has listened to any of our other videos, we bitch often about how thin the plot lines are in most of these movies and OVAs. And this had the opposite problem. There was so much shit going on. Like, I had to, like, stop and go back and, like, you know, rewatch some sections just to, like, figure out what was going on.
Who's what faction? Who's on first?
There's literally only, at the end of the movie, I think there's only, like, 2 factions, really. It's just, like,
a lot of
United Earth government versus, like, the
evil android guy.
Yeah, basically.
It's,
and they all end up working together, and they have a
Legend of the Galactic Heroes in that regard. It is not.
Anyway, Jay gets any shorty he wants.
Pretty much all the ladies love Jay and his ridiculous, stupid arm.
Oh yeah, he's this crazy.
Thing.
It's like a. It's not even armor. It's just like this.
It's like a chest piece.
It's like a chest rig with like an arm that has this crazy gun.
It's got a gun
sword,
and a lightsaber attached
laser
to it.
thing. And if you charge it up forever, it like does a mega.
And it's got really shitty batteries because you got to charge it all the time, and it doesn't last very long.
And Jay's got a comedy robot sidekick that like
he does. Light on the comedy though.
Yeah, it keeps his chest gun going, and I don't know.
So speaking of that, the mechanical designs, as usual, I liked them. Some of them were a little generic, but a lot of them were really cool. Especially like the space stations.
Yes, they were really nice.
They look really good, and
art was really good too. Surprisingly enough.
And do you know why it looked pretty good? Because the mechanical designs were done by Toru Yoshida, who was the mechanical animation director for Black Magic, for The Big O, for Gal Gaigar, for Infinite Revias, for Oath MS Team, for 0083.
That man's got street cred.
Like he's got a lot of street cred on doing mechanical designs and mechanical direction.
I also really liked the all the designs when they got in that planet, because it basically goes from space opera to Lost in Space to We're Stuck on He-Man Planet, and like I really like the designs of like it was like a jungle and there were crazy dinosaurs and I don't know. I like the chicks' outfits. Like it was cool.
No, it's got that classic 80s and 90s anime.
I date any girl wearing that helmet. I'm just saying.
Be careful what you wish for. You know what else was cool about the robots' mechanical designs? Especially the robots near the end? They all make power loader sounds from Aliens.
Yes, they do.
Exact power loader sounds. It's hilarious. All I can think of is like, Ripley? What's going on here?
It's too good.
I also like the one little detail they throw in early where they're bitching about it taking like weeks to get to the gate. I like that like space travel takes forever except for the gate. Like, to get to and from the gate, it's going to take you a while.
It's funny. That was like totally Expanse style.
It was cool.
Like, they're always like, oh, God, we can go anywhere in 2 seconds, but we have to go, like, it takes like fucking months to get to the gate.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we liked about it. Is there anything you didn't like about it?
It was just rushed. I mean, they jammed way too much shit
in
like an hour. And it was kind of long. It was like a full hour and 40 minutes. But
yeah, it's pretty long for one of those
a little clunky.
Movies.
It was so different than any of the other things we watched. Like, I don't know, I just enjoyed it.
There was some internal inconsistency that was kind of silly. Like, the gorilla men early on are like, they may as well be invincible, impossible to kill, and later, a little bit later on, they just, I don't know, you push them over with a pencil and they die. Like,
oh God, we're dead.
It was like, okay, I guess. That a lot of movies do that. A lot of animes guilty of that. But it wasn't like the characters got stronger. They just, I don't know, not a lot of consistency there.
And the psychics, I don't remember what their name was.
Oh, the Lars.
The Lars, yeah. They were like way too powerful to be even messing with any of these idiots.
I know.
Like, I mean, they could summon dinosaurs out of thin air. They could read your freaking mind. They do all this crazy shit, and they can't like beat one like
I got the impression that maybe
android, like
that most of them were pretty low power and crappy, and only like the queen, like one, a couple of them were powerful, but most of them weren't. That's the only way you can kayfabe it to make any sense.
They had that like MacGuffin field that like they couldn't operate in.
So one other thing that I thought was bad writing, but it had a hilarious ending, was Paula's entire subplot. Because she's just insane. Like, I'm going to kill the general. And she finally gets there. It's all completely pointless. And then she gets, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but the way it ends, I laughed my ass off.
It was pretty funny,
Even if her entire plot, it may not have, there was no point for it to be there. It had no effect on the narrative whatsoever.
Nah.
Not even a little bit.
I mean, there's a couple times where she kind of moved the plot forward a little bit.
I don't even know if I believe that. Someone else could have done that.
She
very
wasn't
easily.
necessary. Any other character could have done it, but
It just shows that they just tried to cram too much into this little thing. So maybe it was a much bigger script. It was meant for a bigger series or something.
Yeah,
it seemed. Who knows?
That happens a lot, actually. You're probably right. It was probably slated to be like an OVA or series, and then they're like, "You get no money."
Or maybe it's based on some books I wasn't able to figure out doing research.
I don't know.
Who knows?
It seemed like just everything I read was just original.
Yeah, by itself. Yeah,
like
that's what I read too.
So
But
who knows?
Who knows when you get into the deep dark past of anime?
It's true.
So anyway, all that said, what's your verdict?
This was a wild one. I'd watch it just for the comedy factor. Like, it was just really cool. I don't know. I mean, it had dumb stuff, but they all have dumb stuff, so I enjoyed the crap out of it.
I mean, I liked it. It's an hour and 40 minutes, so it is, it's a movie, and it's certainly shorter than a lot of movies nowadays. I'd recommend it for that, but it's not like a high up recommend.
Nah, I wouldn't like.
You absolutely
kill
have to go out and
myself.
see this. I mean, it is an hour and 40 minutes. It's not like a 40-minute.
And
OVA.
it's been out of print for like 100 years. You're gonna have to buckle some swash to find it.
Probably.
It's on the Cat Noise website, if you know what I am saying.
Fair enough.
But yeah, go out and watch it. Tell us what you think.
Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, well, entertaining.